want us to know that the Bible also calls us to be clean spiritually, because being clean spiritually is important in our battle with sin. And in 1 Peter, verse 30 to 21, we read, we are, here where Peter is saying, remember last week we spoke about 4 truths that Peter was sharing to encourage believers in order to have Respair amidst despair. He reminds us, of our identity. He reminds us that we have an inheritance, a living hope, an inheritance that can never be taken away or fade away. And he says that not only that, we have an insurance, where we are kept by the power of God. We are sustained and protected and guarded by the power of God until Jesus returns. And then he talks about our intention in the midst of suffering, what our intention is, and how when we have genuine faith, girds themselves up to live a life glorifying God. And after sharing these truths, what Peter is saying in the portion of scripture what we read today is, now that you know all these things, now that you have all these amazing guarantees and assurances as to who you are in Jesus and what Jesus has done for you, this is what you ought to do by taking those truths. In other words, now that you have an understanding of those principles, this is how you ought to apply it in your life. This is what the outcome and the result of your life ought to be. And there is an emphasis throughout these verses where Peter is calling every one of us to walk in holiness. Will you turn to your neighbors on the left and the right and say, time to walk in holiness? I want you to know the root meaning for the word trans as holy means different. It means to be set apart. It means to be someone who is distinct and different from the rest. And I want you to know that as the Bible calls us to be holy as God is holy, what God is saying is, listen, you are in the world, you are not of this world, therefore you should be different and set apart. You are not called to stand with the world, but you are called to stand out from the world. You are not called to fit in, you are not called to blend in, but you're called to be different from the rest of the world, because you are not of this world, because you are children of God. You are Christ followers, and therefore we are called to be different.